In the shadowed aftermath of the devastating Clone Wars, the galaxy found itself ensnared in the clutches of a new and more ominous epoch of tyranny and strife. The rise of the Galactic Empire, under the cold and unyielding dominion of Emperor Palpatine, signaled a stark departure from the democratic ideals of both the Galactic Republic and the Confederacy of Independent Systems. This era was not merely a transition of power, but a profound metamorphosis in the very essence of governance and warfare that stretched across the galaxy. At the heart of this dark transformation lay the reconquest of the Rim, an imperial campaign that epitomized the grim realities of this new galactic order. With the Jedi Order once the defenders of peace and justice, now a mere shadow of its former self, a gaping void was left in the moral fabric of the galaxy, a void that Palpatine filled with a merciless brutality unmatched in history. In the aftermath of Vader's mission to Mustafar and the obliteration of the Separatist Council, the Confederacy's backbone was broken, its armies destroyed or left directionless. Yet, the spirit of resistance that fueled the Confederacy lived on through the steadfast supporters who dared to defy the Empire, especially within the lawless expanses of the Outer Rim. This resistance morphed into a kind of second Clone Wars, now veiled under a much more malevolent banner. From 19 to 17 BBY, the Imperial military embarked on numerous campaigns to quell the Separatist holdouts and their new allies among various pirate groups. The Empire's various offences were marked by their strategic brilliance and efficiency in extending the Empire's reach and cementing its authority. These military conquests elevated figures like Grand Moff Tarkin to legendary status, their images bolstered by the Empire's propaganda media outlets. But the most important aspect of the reconquest of the Rim was its level of brutality that surpassed even the horrors of the Clone Wars. Deprived of the Jedi's guidance, who had once infused the Republic's military endeavors with their wisdom and ethical principles, the Imperial military adopted tactics of unparalleled ruthlessness. Notably, the reconquest of the Rim marked a dramatic shift in the nature of military engagement and the treatment of civilian populations, especially those with past affiliations to the CIS. The clone troopers, who once fought under the principled leadership of the Jedi, now exhibited a chilling disregard for civilian life, a stance that was not only permitted but often spurred on by their commanding officers. The first of these campaigns was the Ciatrix Offensive. In the aftermath of the Separatist Purge, remnants of the Confederate forces, reeling from their defeats at the end of the Clone Wars, retreated to the expanse known as the Void of Chopani. They sought refuge and a new bastion of resistance within the Ciatrix sector, cobbling together a semblance of power with the aid of mysterious benefactors from Serenno and Selenon. Their ranks swelled with the addition of pirates and slavers, who cast their lot in with the remaining separatists. The Empire, though, would track them down, killing all the Separatist mercenaries and civilians who stood in their way during an assault on Vardos IV. A grim and often overlooked aspect of the second phase of the Clone Wars was the mental toll that these wars took on the clone troopers. The Kaminoans, the architects of the clone army, had engineered these soldiers with inherent aggressive tendencies, shaping them into efficient and unquestioning warriors. Throughout their lives, the clones were often treated more as tools of war than as sentient beings, a reality that contributed to a reservoir of pent-up frustration and anger. In the absence of the Jedi, who had once provided guidance and a measure of emotional balance, many clones found themselves adrift, their natural inclinations towards aggression left unchecked. The story of the reconquest of the Rim, therefore, is not just one of military conquest and expansion, it is also a tale of lost guidance, suppressed humanity, and the tragic consequences of a regime that valued conquest over compassion. The clone troopers, once proud defenders of the Republic, found themselves transformed into instruments of an oppressive regime, their inherent aggression exploited to enforce the Empire's will across the galaxy. This tendency was particularly pronounced amongst the clones assigned to the grim task of hunting down rogue Jedi during the concurrent Great Jedi Purge. Vader often assigned the original clone units of the Jedi fugitive to track down and eliminate their former general. This strategy exploited the clones' sense of failure and shame for their inability to complete Order 66, transforming their hunt into a relentless drive for redemption in the eyes of the Empire. In instances where these specific units were unavailable, Vader turned to the infamous 501st Legion to hunt down Jedi and their sympathizers. One such operation was the subjugation of New Plimto, a world that had sided with the Separatists during the Clone War. Despite its status as a core world, its inhabitants remained defiant against the Empire. They rallied around Jedi Dash Genir, who led them in resistance against the encroaching might of the Stormtrooper Corps. To quell this rebellion, a detachment of the 501st Legion, commanded by the zealous Commander Vil, was dispatched. Vader, recognizing the strategic importance of the mission, personally oversaw it. The confrontation reached its zenith at Half-Axe Pass, where Genir and his Nazorian rebels prepared for a desperate last stand. Amidst the chaos of battle and the evacuation of rebel families, the Nazorians fought with a fierce determination. However, they were ultimately outmatched by the relentless assault of the 501st. Faced with certain defeat, many chose surrender, hoping for mercy. Commander Vil, embodying the Empire's ruthless doctrine, ordered the execution of the captured Nazorians, sparing only Genir and one other. This merciless act was not just a military decision, but a symbolic message of the Empire's unwavering resolve. The families of the fighters, rather than being spared, were condemned to a grim fate in slave colonies. In a haunting reflection of the moral erosion within the Empire, it was Darth Vader who displayed a hint of reluctance over these extreme measures, more so than any of the 501st, illustrating just how far the clones had fallen. Similar atrocities played out elsewhere. On Tula, Commander Keller's relentless pursuit of Jedi survivors epitomized the Empire's ruthless tactics. His decision to impose martial law on an entire city, punishing countless innocents in the process, was a stark demonstration of the Empire's willingness to go to any lengths to crush resistance. Similarly, on Kashyyyk, Commander Faye's attempt to carpet bomb a Wookiee village in an effort to eliminate Jedi Quinlan Vos showcased the Empire's disregard for collateral damage in its quest to exterminate the Jedi. The actions on Kashyyyk, however, did not end with Faye's brutal campaign. A month later, clone stormtroopers continued the onslaught, committing atrocities that included rounding up Wookiees for slave labor and burning entire cities to the ground. These acts of barbarity were justified by the mere suspicion that Jedi fugitives had passed through these areas. As well as brutality to Jedi sympathizers and separatist holdouts, the Empire also displayed ruthlessness towards its own military. A stark example of this brutality was evidenced at the Battle of Ostor, a critical engagement within the Western Reaches operation. General Ron, a veteran of the Clone Wars, led his troops in a fierce assault on a separatist stronghold. As the Empire seemingly gained the upper hand, Ron, demonstrating his merciless tactics, issued orders to pursue and execute any fleeing clone stormtroopers. CT-5539 was instructed to eliminate anyone in retreat, an order that inadvertently led them into a deadly separatist ambush. The chaos of this encounter resulted in severe casualties among the clone ranks, and in an ironic twist of fate led to the unexpected demise of General Ron, who had retreated. Despite having to kill many of his own, including his superior General Ron, CT-5539's loyalty to the Empire remained unshaken. Under the command of Vader, his forces launched a devastating reprisal attack, one that obliterated not only separatist resistance but also countless civilians, including the wounded and medical staff in a hospital. Deeply affected by the horrors he witnessed and partook in, CT-5539 eventually chose to retire from military service, seeking a peaceful life as a farmer. The aforementioned war crimes mentioned in this video are just the tip of the iceberg. The reconquest of the Rim campaign was marked by countless other harrowing incidents. A chilling governmental policy was at the heart of this campaign. A decree that stated that any planet that harbored a separatist presence was deemed wholly complicit in the separatist cause, thus legitimizing its total destruction in the eyes of the Empire. This ruthless policy found an unsettling level of support among many Imperial citizens, particularly those residing in the core worlds. Shielded by distance from the brutal realities of the conflict, these citizens remain largely indifferent to the fate of those in the Outer Rim. The Empire's propaganda machine effectively perpetuated the belief that the mere presence of a few separatists rendered entire populations guilty by association, a notion that was readily accepted by many. This widespread support among the affluent core worlds added another layer of despair, Emperor Palpatine's vision of 10,000 years of Imperial rule weighed heavily on the minds of those who did not align with the regime, leaving them to ponder their chances of survival in the years to come. If you have any thoughts on this chapter of galactic history, or want me to delve deeper into the complexities of the reconquest of the Rim, your insights and questions are welcome in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.